This is just, I mean, what could be more exciting than finding out what happens after you die? I mean, apart from finding out the meaning of life, which I'm going to get to after that, this is a huge video and I'm really excited to share it with you because this answers so many questions. So I'll tell you a bit about Robert Monroe.
There's no law, but when you, quote, die, and instead of going home, you make the decision. There's no law that says you have to stay here. You are the one who says, I gotta go back. I didn't eat enough steaks. I didn't have enough strawberries. I didn't have enough children. All these kinds of things.
So Robert Monroe is an author. He's an expert in, I guess you would say, consciousness and exploring this far greater dimension than the physical one that we live in. He's an expert on this because he had some freak condition where he would just go out of his body. His spirit would leave his body and he would be in this other dimension, and he spent a lot of time there. In the beginning, it was happening to him just by accident. It would just happen, and he was quite afraid of it. And he started seeing doctors, and I'll post the video below where you can get the whole story. But when he realized he didn't have to be afraid of it, he started studying it. And he actually tells you he has been to certain levels of what we would call heaven, or what Christians would call home, going home. He has seen a number of these places, and I'm going to let you listen to him. He's the author of 3 books. I've only been through about halfway through one of them, which is the middle one here, Journey Out of the Body. And then there's Ultimate Journey and Far Journey. So he's written about this a lot. And I think when it comes to these sorts of things, you have to decide what feels true for you. There is only one real truth, but in some cases, it's not so easy to get to that. You have to examine a vast amount of data to be able to narrow down, not everything is black and white, is what I'm saying. So if you're a religionist who thinks that any entity that communicates with your subconscious must be a demon, then you're living in fear, you're in a degenerate state, and you've got a lot of suffering to do before you expand your consciousness and start learning. But if you've done the research and you know that in this other realm, there are energies and entities that actually heal the sick, that share information to help human evolution, to reduce suffering, to prevent harm. Clearly, they're not demons because they are helping us. And if you've done the research and you've seen that, then you know that they're not all demons. Demons are there as well. People have experiences with them. They're completely different entities. Both exist. And you really have to expose yourself to more information to be able to see the broader picture, to be able to get closer to what you can call truth. So let's go now to Robert Monroe, who will explain where we go when we die.
We become addicted to being human. And so after we exit this particular life sojourn, we're saying instead of going home and what I call having escape velocity to go home, something's happened in living that life. We've picked up a load factor. There was friction along the way, and that represents it. So instead of moving out and having escape velocity, we start turning along that, and it's our decision, no one else's. That's the important thing, our decision. We say, well, I think I'll go back just once more, and then this next time I think I'll be a male instead of a female. That ought to be more fun. Just once more, and then I'll go home. So what happens is, instead of moving this way, we loop around and go back being a human again, and go back and have another human experience, another lifetime, and we come out again, and we're already this time. But this time we've had even a greater load factor, don't you see? We've slowed up a little more. We haven't got the speed that we did. We have a greater load, and so we're now in orbit, and we have a decaying orbit, because when we come up around the orbit like this, instead of going on, we say, oh, I got to go back, because I've never seen Paris, and I'd like to go to Paris for once in my life, and I'd like to just go there. So whole purpose to go back and live again so that I can go to Paris. And again, I've heard so much about Paris, I want to go to Paris, so I'll go and live again so I can go to Paris. And as you can see, each time you pick up in each succeeding lifetime a greater load factor, so that as you go through this, your orbit decays more and more as you go through this, living these successive lives, until you get locked in tighter and tighter and tighter, till you are locked in being human so tight that you forget where you came from. You've lost all of the desire to even depart and go home. You've lost it all, because this is so overwhelmingly addictive that you can't think of anything else but this time, space, physical matter, all the things that take place in there. And no matter how hard you try, you can't get away from it. The reason being, there's no law, but when you, quote, die, and instead of going home, you make the decision. There's no law that says you have to stay here. You are the one who says, I gotta go back. I didn't eat enough steaks. I didn't have enough strawberries. I didn't have enough children. All these kinds of things. Or I didn't have enough sex. Anyway, that's how we lock in as being human.